Hey, I'm Mrs. Trouble, and if you don't already know, I'm a licensed firearm instructor, and many of my students go to the range with me trying to find the perfect gun for their concealed carry option. Well, I've had many requests to do gun reviews, and so here I am today giving you guys my first gun review. I hope you guys like it. I will tell you I'm a little bit biased for this particular gun. And if you've seen any of my other videos, or even if you are a student of mine, you may have already been told that I love Sig Sauer. So it's literally one of my favorite concealed carry options to have the P365. I am in love with this gun. So I'm going to show you guys all the things that I do prefer and like about it. You can definitely put in the chat box area if you agree or not. And just keep in mind that not each gun is for everyone. And that's why when I take my students to the range, I do provide them different options so they can make the decision that best fits them. Because to each his own, you never know which gun actually picks you. And for me, Sig Sauer has picked me time and time again. So stay tuned, I'm gonna show you how and why. So starting right from the beginning here, you can see my Sig Sauer came in a hard case, which I love so much because if I'm transporting my firearm to a place where I maybe don't have reciprocity, or if I'm traveling on a train, airplane, things like that, and I need to check it in so I can transport it with me, I can just easily put it in the case that I purchased it with, and I can actually put a lock on the case itself. It has holes right there for a standard locker key. Okay, so that's something that you can pretty much put on there to transport easily and have it secured. So moving on to opening this case here. In the case, it does come with your standard owner's manual, of course, as you can see. And that's something I would totally recommend you guys take a look at. Always look at your owner's manual, read through it, because there's certain little key things that you may not know about your gun if you're familiar with a different brand or different model. So I would totally suggest that each person always looks through and read their owner's manual. Of course, it comes with the standard lock. These are really good to have as a backup. You can go ahead and put that right through the handle. Remember not to put it through the barrel, of course. You don't want to mess up the rifling inside of your gun. But this can go right through the handle, and it has a lock right there for you as well by key. So this one came with 2 different magazines. So as you can see, there's a slight difference in the design of these magazines, and it's designed as a pinky rest. So each magazine does still hold 10 rounds, but this one has a nice little pinky rest. So I'm going to show you guys that in just a second, how that operates. But basically, first of all, safety is always first. As you guys can see, this gun is unloaded. Okay, and I have no ammunition around. I have to say that as a licensed firearm instructor, make sure you guys know I'm practicing safety handling. But basically, once I put this magazine in here, it'll give me some more space, because as I begin to grab it, you can see how my pinky kind of is not in a comfortable place. But once I put this here and I put my pinky there, it's nice and comfortable for my grip. So that's just something that can be helped. If you need a little bit more space, you could also buy an extended magazine that would also serve that purpose. Now, I love the magazines because my pinky rest is there, but traveling from one place to another, especially in the DMV area, there is some states that only allow you to carry 10 rounds. And so I would have meet that qualification by using either of these magazines. I don't have to go and buy another. So I do like the fact that I can cross over into state lines into places that allows me only to carry 10 rounds. So just taking a look at the design here, it is chrome on the top. So it's a little top heavy when it's, made in this metal material and plastic at the bottom. But at the end of the day, that actually very much helps with the recoil. It's not too heavy though. It's a nice, comfortable weight, I would say. It's pretty standard. And what I also love about this, and I'm going to show you guys from this angle, so I'm going to be a little safe here. But basically, guys, you can see the sights. I love the front sight that came already equipped in this firearm because it glows in the dark. So it's called a night sight, and it really helps because I can see that being the person that is shooting, but anybody who's my intruder, they can't see it. So at nighttime, it glows perfectly well. I can see clear as day that. Everything else might be pitch black, but I can see that front sight. So I love the sight system. It's very comfortable and familiar for me. I also like the fact that it's low profile on the side for your slide lock and slide release. It definitely helps making sure that you're not snagging your clothes when you put the firearm in a holster or take the firearm out of the holster. I also like the fact that my magazine release is also low profile. So basically, each of these things that I have to grab on the side is very close to the gun. Now, I will tell you, it may take you a little time to get familiar with that as you are using it. So as far as locking it back to the rear, I know that that's a standard concern for many people, or just racking it back in general. But once you get used to it, it'll be easy. So what I would suggest you do is literally just take your palm here, your fingers here, and just pull it back. And it should be pretty easy the more you do it. Now, if you're buying any gun brand new, of course, it's going to take you some time to get familiar with it, and it's going to have to loosen up and be worn in. But after a while, it'll feel pretty comfortable for you. So as far as my reach goes for my thumb to be able to lock this slide back, it's pretty easy. I find that most guns I have to actually turn my hand a little bit so that I can reach the slide lock, but this one I don't. I can keep my hand in this position and still lock it back and don't have to turn my hand but so much to be able to reach it easily and comfortably. I also love the trigger. The trigger itself is pretty standard, where the pounds per pressure is pretty easy going. I don't have much slack, and that's what I love about it. So I'm just going to show you guys a little dry fire here, checking again to make sure I have no ammunition, and then I'm going to close my slide and show you guys the squeeze of the trigger. Has very little give right here. And so that's one of the things that I love about it. As you guys can see, it doesn't go back much before, boom, the gun goes off, right? So that's something I love about it. For some of my students, that actually works against them, and they prefer something that does have a little bit more give. So again, to each his own. Try it, see what you like about it, and see what you don't like. You have to make that decision for yourself. I also love the material that's made here because it doesn't allow my hand to slip. I have a nice little grip right here on this material, and I absolutely love that. So the final thing I want to show you guys before I take it to the range and shoot is I can actually take this apart extremely easy. Don't have to squeeze the squeeze the trigger. Comes right on off. So that's easy going for me. I love taking this apart. It happens for so easy for me, and putting it back together is very simple. So hope you guys like the P365. Put in the comments and let me know what you feel. But I'm about to go take this to the range. All this showing you guys made me just want to shoot the firearm. So I'll see you guys shortly at the range. So I'm at the range, and of course I have to load it first. And a lot of times students have problems with the smaller magazine, but I do have a couple of little tricks and trades. I'll save that for a whole nother video. But in the meantime, I am loading this to the max, which is 10 rounds. And a lot of times it does give you a little problem, maybe after about 5 to 6 rounds. For some people, maybe 7 rounds. And those last few ones just gives you a little bit more challenge, though. You may have to use something like maybe resting it on your leg or something, or the table, to be able to load it. But nonetheless, loading it up to 10 rounds so you guys can see how it shoots. All right, so going ahead, check to make sure I have no ammunition and loading it. Pretty simple, easy going, and racking it back, of course, which again, it takes some people a little time to get familiar with how to rack it back because it's a little on the small side. But once you get it and break the firearm in, it's easy enough to do. So I'm going to go ahead and present and shoot. Now that I've shot all the rounds, let's see what I did today. I've done better, but not bad. So go ahead and comment below. Tell me what you think about the P365. Of course, subscribe, like the video, and turn on those notifications so you can stay tuned for more.